right. Hello, everyone. So, for those of you who don't know where we are currently. That looks not bad. We are currently upstairs in my attic, and I'll show you around here in a little bit. So, what we're going to be doing today is we are actually going to move all this plywood here. We're going to cut a big hole in the wall here. We have to change around some wiring on the second floor, which is the ceiling that's below us. And we're also going to run some more network, because over in that corner is where my office is. So almost right where the camera is, we're going to drop a second access point, and we're going to run some direct connection lines. We're going to run some wired ports over to my office for my workstation, so that we can eventually move the NAS down into the basement and not have it heating up my office so much. We'll also possibly be putting a wired drop in the middle room, and if we're going to put one in the middle room, we might as well put one in the front bedroom as well. So we have them. That's what we're working on today. So the next thing I'm going to do, and in case anyone's wondering what all this plywood is for, I'm going to just flip you around here. So when we bought this house, they had put plywood down over top of the old flooring that's here. These plates, I thought, oh sweet, maybe I can access the cabling that I need to change some stuff. Nope. Where the end of the board is not supported, they took a piece of tin and screwed it on top, and that's how they gave it support. And then they put plywood down on top of it, because as anyone who has these old floors knows, you eventually get these cracks and all kinds of fun stuff falls in them, and it's a huge pain to keep clean. So I've got some of it pulled up, and we'll go over there in a bit and I'll show you our basically greenhouse in the front half of the attic. But what we've got to do is crack open this wall over here. So we're basically right above, in this back corner there's stairs, and right beside the stairs there's the bathroom on the second floor. Between the stairs and the bathroom there's a plumbing chase that goes all the way straight down to the basement. I should, or at least I'm hoping, be able to crack a hole in the wall here. And then, since I know this floor down here will continue all the way out to the wall, I'll have to cut a hole out there. But then I should be able to drop straight into the plumbing chase. And that's how we're going to get our cabling down into the basement, because we've got our rack is down there, and obviously our power panel is down there. So that's the plan. It's going to be interesting. We don't necessarily know what we're going to find when we crack the wall open. So let's get to it. So getting creative, because that is not the outside wall, that is a knee wall, measuring from the stairs. We should actually end up being, if I use this as a pointer, you guys can see, somewhere around here. If we measure 3'7" off of the back wall by the window, and well, we're actually measuring 5'5" from the stairs that are behind me that you can't see, it should be somewhere in here. So it actually means that we don't have to cut a hole in this wall, at least not right now. So what we're going to do instead, because I don't 100% trust that number, is we've got this piece right here on the floor. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. We've got this piece right here on the floor that has clearly been removed in the past. So we're going to crack it open and we're going to take a look. cut out a spot over there. We're going to take a look. And hopefully we're successful. What I don't want to find, and this is the other thing too. So what I'm looking for is, I'm assuming that we're going to find a spot that has no finished roof or ceiling over here, because there are stairs in this back corner. I am assuming it was not finished ceiling all the way across and then the stairs were put in. So that's what I'm hoping for, and then I can then therefore get fairly easy access to that plumbing chase. But this house is 112 years old this year, I believe. So that's what I'm hoping, is that when I crack into the right spot, we'll be able to see straight down, kind of above the stairs, because the ceiling of the stairs is finished and plastered. And if we can see that, then I should be able to easily see the chase. And we can go from there. Now the other interesting thing too is where that plumbing chase goes up, there is a section, effectively like a boxed out space that is about 2 feet square, give or take, that is just kind of in between walls. I don't know what's in there. For all I know, there could be an old remnants of a dumbwaiter somewhere in there. We will see. So I'm going to turn you off and readjust, and then we're going to go exploring and see what we find. Okay. So, if we check our numbers again. You're recording, right? Okay, you're recording. Check our numbers from the stairs. So what we've discovered is right in this corner, about where I expected, a little further in, it's like right behind this, is where that plumbing chase is. So that's good. What I did not expect is it looks like it's actually a solid ceiling all the way through, and then that was built around it. Like, it was basically punched through. So were the stairs in the back added after the fact? That doesn't make any sense. It also doesn't make any sense because there's 2 sets of stairs in this house. Going from the first floor to the second floor, there's 2 sets of stairs. And ones from the front are exactly what you would expect. And the ones from the back come out of the kitchen and are almost like a set of maybe what you would consider like servant stairs. But this house isn't big enough to have had servant stairs or servants' quarters. And it comes to the same landing as the stairs that come from the front of the house. So, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I have no idea kind of how this house was built, clearly, which is super interesting. But what we're actually going to do then, yeah, it's right there. I can feel it. So that's okay. As long as we don't end up going down into the bathroom, which is here actually, kind of right underneath us. As long as we don't go down into the bathroom, it'll be okay. So what I'll do, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these two out, here and here. And that should give me enough space to go in here and work. The goal here, basically what we're after, is we want to be able to drop wires straight down using that plumbing chase into the basement. So I need to be able to kind of fish a line fish down there. Alright, I guess that's what we're going to do then. And then we'll reinvestigate. We'll see how it looks. Clearly we're going to need to vacuum in here too. So let me punch you guys back down. and let's see how it goes. Oh, I guess it would help if I swapped the batteries. Alright, so the original plan was to go and start cutting holes everywhere else. But I think what we're going to actually do, I'm going to start with the network, because that will be the easiest. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to measure out, figure out where I have to go. Pull off these couple of pieces of plywood that are left on the floor here. And then start mapping out my route so that I can get over to, let's see, we can get over to that side. So basically, I'm gonna go up in this corner. My rack is in the basement as well. I'm gonna go all the way across. I'll have to do an interesting jog around the front of those stairs there and go across. And the knee wall that's on the other side here, right here, will go, there's a hatch over there already, which is nice, so I can go out into there. Now, I guess I should actually mention one thing here. This house is not a perfect, like, just straight. No old house is straight, but that's not what I mean. There's sort of a bump out at the back of it, which is back here, that makes it wider. And the pitch, or the peak line, or roof line, I guess, does a 90-degree turn right here. That's part of what makes this back ceiling so complex and messy, right? Is you've got running straight down from here this way, the main peak line, but then right about here it turns 90 degrees and goes that way, where this kind of addition on the back, and it's also not the same height at the roof line, so that's fun. Anyway, we'll go out there. We'll cut a hole in the floor and I will drop lines, and then we'll come this way and I'll drop one. I don't know exactly where I want to put it. Maybe here-ish. This should be right about here. Should be the hallway in the back of the house. So I think we'll put one on the ceiling there. I've already got one on the ceiling in the front of the house on the main floor. So yeah. 2 wire drops into my office, 1 up here for the access point. I don't even know if we'll get to all of that today, but that is the plan. Those are the things we're going to start working on. So let's start by cleaning up the mess we've made here.
retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Pain for their disease. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
Hello. Okay, so I want to take a minute here and just talk about all the different time lapses and clips you finished watching. It may have seemed like I was a little bit distracted or excited and confused when some of that was going on, which is accurate and true, because just like for you, most of this is new content that I'm finding, or new things that I'm discovering. This house, before we bought it, was owned by, well, it was a student house owned by some investors. And before that, 12, 15 years before that, I don't know. I don't know anything about the history before that, so I don't really know what has happened in here. I don't really know what kind of renovations or changes have been made. So as we're going through things, I'm finding stuff that is not what I expected, isn't what makes sense, isn't how you would think something would get built. So we're kind of exploring and figuring things out as we go. But let me show you what we've got done so far and kind of talk a little bit more about what our plan is. I'm going to try and do this without being too wobbly. So if we look down here, this corner right here, right behind here is where the plumbing chase runs all the way up through the roof of the building. And goes all the way down to the attic and then out to the sewer line at the front of the street. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole. You obviously can't see this. We're going to cut a hole in the, what is the ceiling underneath here. We're going to pull all our wires straight up beside the plumbing chase and across. In this corner, so over here, on the other side of the stairs, is where my office is. Kind of behind that. Behind the railing and also sort of behind that knee wall a little bit. So 2 drops are going to go to there for wired connections to my workstation and to my editing workstation, or personal workstation we'll call it. And somewhere right about here in the middle is where we're going to put a 3rd drop right here. And this is going to run a wireless access point for the 2nd floor back of the house. We've got one way at the front in the main room, in the living room in the front, 1st floor, which is great, but as anyone who has ever worked on or lived in old houses with Wi-Fi knows, the walls are really thick, plaster is terrible for Wi-Fi penetration, so we need something a little bit better back here. We could do mesh, that is absolutely correct, but we've got the infrastructure and we're running cabling anyway, so it's not that big a deal to run one extra one to here. We're doing Cat 6 everywhere, so we can upgrade that to at least 10 gig in the future just by changing a switch and the NICs in the workstations, but that's not anywhere on the roadmap right now. So those are the 3 cables we're running up here. At this time, and I'm not 100% sure on this, I do want to run one to the middle room, which is kind of here, and then one to the bedroom, the master bedroom in the front of the house on the second floor. I should probably just run them while I've got the floor open, while I'm pulling things up, before I seal everything back up and put all of the plywood back down. So there's a good chance that we're just going to do that at the same time. But let's see how the first 3 go, and then we'll kind of make that game time decision based on how well that project goes. But that is it for now. I'm going to get back to editing this and put it all together, and hopefully get this out before too long. Talk soon.